Well, hello everybody. How you doing? Dave Fennoy here, and it's a Wednesday, and they seem to come faster and faster and faster. And this is Ask Dave Fennoy Anything. And while you're getting your questions together, you can always, if something pops into your mind, you can always, just jot the question down under the announcement, and it makes it easier for me to just, I've got one to go with. But anyway, well, here we go. Hey, Cammie Hunter, how you doing? Caitlin, Brian, Everly, what's going on? Deb, what's going on? Couple things to talk about right off the bat. I'm going to give a shout out to Randy Morrison and Connection Open. I was talking to him today, and he still has passes to give away. And I'm telling you, I think this thing is going to be the future. ISDN is on its way out. I still have my Telos Zephyr, but, it's hard to get nowadays. And everything else costs a lot more. And I'm not sure it's going to be as fast or as usable with as many people. So right now, while you can sign up for free, I suggest you do that and get a buddy or two to sign up with you and try it out. Just try it out. Will cost you nothing. ConnectionOpen.com. You download the software, and once you do, send a note to Randy, R-A-N-D-Y, at ConnectionOpen.com and tell him, hey, I just signed up. Where are my free passes? And he'll send you a few free passes. Tim Alexander, what's going on? Ellen Dubbin, saw you at the Voice Arts Awards, looking lovely. Molly Daisy, Lisa, what's going on? All right. Well, that's Connection Open. I had an audition to do. I had a busy day today. I had to be in Marina Del Rey at 9 o'clock in the morning for a session, which means I need to leave my house about 7:15. I'm not really an early riser, but anyway, good session, got back, and just before I came on here, I had an audition I had to get in now, because I'm not going to have time after now because I've got some other things to do. And it was a medical thing with lots of medical terminology. And ordinarily, that's not a big problem for me. My father was a doctor. My sister's a doctor. My niece is a doctor. A lot of doctors in the family. But because I was up against the clock, I let myself get psyched out, and I was having problems saying some of these words. I finally got it because in my head I knew I could do it. But I know that happens to you sometimes. I'm going to give you a couple tips for solving that. One, when you know you can do it, just know you can do it. Two, if you're running across a word that is difficult for you to pronounce, begin to pronounce it very slowly. And once you've got it down correctly, then again and again, and a little faster, and a little faster, and a little faster. And I guarantee you will get it. Also, let it go. I can't tell you how many cartoon sessions I've been in with somebody who's been kind of new, and they made a mistake, and then they let the mistake just get to them, and they could not recover. Or working with a student, or reading copy, they make a mistake, and they don't immediately let it go. When they start, they're still in mistake mode, still in their head. They're, oh, gee, I messed that up. So instead of, buy this stuff today at such and such a place, they're, buy this stuff today. Because they haven't let go of it, which leads me to intention. We're actors as voice artists, and what is your intention? I know I had a student today tell me, well, my intention was to impress you. That's the wrong intention. Every time you take a class, working with a coach, I know that's there. You want to impress them. But what you really want to do is deliver that message or let that character speak through you. That's your intention. It's not even to book the job. I mean, someplace in the background, you're doing an audition, you want to book the job. But your intention should be to be as honest with the copy that you are delivering as possible. So there's that. Enough of me ranting. Tim Alexander, my man. Thank you. Nice phone mic too. Yeah, there you go. Thanks in advance, Dave. Lawrence Paul Hancock. You're one of the, that's kind of you to say. But you know what? This is for questions. I appreciate the kind words, but this is for questions on voiceover. What else did I want to talk about today? I think I announced, this is a little brag, just a little bit of brag. But my morning session today was for Fortnite Save the World. It's the biggest game in the world right now, and I can't tell you how pleased I am to be on it. And 200 million people playing this game around the world. 200 million. It is now blowing League of Legends out of the water, which I think was the most played game before that. So those of you who, you've done some animation, you have an acting background, might want to think about video games, but it really is acting. It really is acting. But I can help now, some other people that can help. Alex Weitzman, what's going on? Here's a question for you, Dave. What's your favorite vocal warm-up? A cup of coffee. I don't warm up my voice so much as I warm up my face. I do a little breathing, let the air get through there. Be up for more than 30 minutes. First thing when you wake up, my voice is kind of here. You need that coffee or tea, and just let some air in, just like the rest of your body. You gotta stretch it out a little bit and warm up the rest of what makes a sound, your tongue, your mouth. And other than that, that's about it. I see that, Tim. Hey, Nick, what's up? Mbisa, what's going on? And I will ask what I asked Nancy. How do you maintain vocal health when you're not at top voice or under the weather? Man, great question, because I've had a career where sometimes I have not been at the top of my game. The things that happen to you, if you are, you have a cold, early in that cold, it's the drip, drip, drip down your nose. And then breathing becomes a little difficult. So you want to get a decongestant. I'm not a big fan of taking lots of pills and stuff, but if I feel the sniffles coming on, I'll take a decongestant, and I'll keep taking it, preferably one that doesn't knock me out unless it's nighttime I need to go to sleep, to keep that drip, drip, drip from getting down in your throat. If you can stop it then, when it first starts, you may avoid the cold altogether. If you do get the cold, you want to drink lots of warm liquids, honey, lemon, in your tea. Breathe. You can do things like breathe in steam, Vicks Vapo rub that on your neck, rub that on your chest and back at nighttime to keep yourself clear. And I do everything I can to keep it out of my voice. Sometimes you can't help it. And if your voice gets hoarse and goes from a cold, just stop. Sometimes you just have to stop. But as much as you can, keep your sinuses clear with a decongestant, and lots and lots and lots of liquids. Just for fun of it, is there a character from any narrative media, literature, theater, anything that you'd love to get a crack at? Oh, boy. Well, I'm an actor, so everything we audition, we want to get. Right off the top of my head, no. But if there's one lesson I learned from playing Lee Everett, is that the very best character to play is one that you create, that you make iconic. Well, I can't just say me, because there were writers and a whole production team, and it wouldn't have been just me. But when you have that opportunity to bring a character to life that hasn't been brought to life before. I love playing characters that, from comic books and that are known. But when you come up with something that hasn't been before, and you're the first one to do it, and it becomes popular, few feelings are better. Than Bisa. I hate the postnasal drip. Oh, it's terrible. And once again, I'll go back to that for just a second. The reason you want the decongestant is because it'll kill the postnasal drip. And that postnasal drip is what gets your throat sore. Hey, Dub Sommerfeld, how you doing? Getting renovations now. Oh, wow. Putting your home studio together. By the way, anybody got some questions on home studios? We can answer them. As for your question, you were asking, I'm always looking to learn and improve. Goodness. Hey, Alex, I think that, oh, thanks, Alex. I appreciate that. Wolf Williams, whoo, made it in. Yes, you did. Well, let's talk about home studios for a little bit. I'll tell you about mine. I know I've done it before, but you're going to hear about it again. I have a whisper room. Now, if I were going for brand new and money was not a concern, I might do either the studio bricks, if I want something that I can put up and take down after a year or two or three or whatever, or I'd build it in myself. In my last house, I had built in a studio. I moved into this house too fast. I didn't have time to build something quick, so I had a small whisper room. I used that and found this whisper room online. Now, if I had bought it new, it would have cost me between $9,000 and $10,000. But people buy these things all the time. They set them up, and what do? They just sit there. So if you're looking to go the whisper room route, find a used one. Find one big enough now. A lot of times you'll get in a room that's like 4x4. And you think it's going to be enough room because I can stand there, but you want to be able to move. Another thing to think about is you got to psych yourself out. The smaller the room is, the more you have to psych yourself out about what volume you're working at. If we're just out in nature, we know exactly how loud to speak. Somebody's standing next, hey man, what's going on? Somebody's way over there, hey, you're loud enough. That's taken a little bit away from you when you're reading words off a page and you're in a booth that is a particular size. You're going to have fear of blowing out the microphone. Oh, is this going? All those kinds of things are going on, and your mind is telling you you don't have to be that loud, and you have to overcome that. So the bigger the booth you can get, the better. If you cannot afford a booth, well, a closet with clothes in it is one of the best places in the world to record. Unless you're sharing that closet with somebody and they got to get dressed, then it's kind of a problem. Or you're tripping over somebody's shoes or something like that. But also, if you have a quiet room, all you have to worry about is sound treatment so that you don't have the bounce coming off the walls. I am in a room that is about 15 by 26 that also has my gym in it. Workout. But I have lots of stuff, books and trophies and artwork and coffee cups and other stuff on shelves. Oh, you can see it behind me. Or let's use this hand. Yeah, you see behind me there. So even this room is a pretty good room. You're not hearing a lot of sound bounce as I'm talking to you now. So I could probably use this room to record in. One of the best things to do, you got a quiet room, set yourself up in a corner. So this way, this is the corner, and put your microphone from the corner facing you with thick curtains on either side. Now your voice is going into the microphone here and the curtains here, and you eliminate the sound bounce. You might want to, put something over your head, like on the ceiling. But I know a number of people who have done that, and it sounds just great. So you don't have to have a whisper room or studio bricks or vocal booth. You can do it without, but I like my whisper room. All right, where were we? Where can you locate used studio equipment? Good question, since I was just talking about that. You can find all kinds of things used. I found my whisper room. Well, must have been chewing my nails before. I found my whisper room on Craigslist, and I did a nationwide search. You don't have to just search Craigslist for the area you are in. You can search. You can do a universal search. Matter of fact, a lot of people get work that way. And just plug in whisper room, vocal booth, sound booth, and you'd be surprised what comes up. And if you don't use Craigslist, do a Google search. Not only will the companies that make them pop up, but people who are selling them, perhaps on eBay. That's a way. And whisper rooms and vocal booths aren't the only things to buy used. My first really great microphones, matter of fact, my two first really great microphones I bought used. One, I still have both of them. One is a 416 that I still use, that I've had for 20-something years. And the other is a Neumann TLM 170, not a mic you see a lot, but it's a great mic. You find them mostly in studios that are doing music and that kind of thing, or animation. All right. Steve Bailey, glad to be here. Sandra Sargent had a cue that you may have missed. She asked, what could I do to stand out in the first 5 or 10 seconds of a video game audition? This is a new genre for me and just wondered if it differs a lot from commercial auditions. It does and it doesn't. There's a whole different purpose. You know, when you're doing a commercial, you are trying to sell a product. You're attracting people to this product, or being a character in the commercial that's helping to attract people to a product. When you're in a video game, you are playing a character. You're bringing a character to life. One we may like, one we may not like, or we don't like them, and that's why we like them, if you know what I mean. So you need to get the character, and you need to bring the character to life in a way that sounds real. Oftentimes, when we've been doing narration, commercials, especially spokesperson commercials, and TV promos, we've set ourselves up to fail at video games, because as human beings, how we communicate is not perfect. If you listen back, you hear me stumbling over words and repeating things and reaching for thoughts and trying to remember this, that, and the other. Well, the same thing holds true with your video game characters. Don't try to make the copy come off as perfect. Have it come off as real. And with real, you get ahs like I just did, sighs, breaths, mumbling to yourself. You get all kinds of things to play the character. One of the things I tell students now is, look, let's worry about the words secondary. Who is this character? What does this character feel like? What is this character thinking? What's their condition? Are they, fit and vital? Are they tired and sad? The person that they're talking to, what's that relationship? Those are the things that you want to pay most attention to with video game characters, and then let the words happen. I have said to students often, the words are only important in that they give detail to what your character is thinking and feeling. They are secondary. We got to say them, but they're secondary. And all too often we're making the words precious and not who that character is. That's what's precious there. Good. Well, actually, Steve Bailey, that wasn't your question. Thank you for asking Sandra's question. And yeah, I think I did miss it. Wolf Williams, here's a question. Is there any advantage to being MBE certified? I did some work for a hospital campaign, and their contracting department inquired if I was. I never thought of it for VO. MBE certified. I'm not even sure what that means. Logan, any idea what that means? No. Okay. Got my buddy Logan here. Is a guy with a deeper voice than me. There he is. And his dreadlocks are still dark. I heard that. What is MBE, Wolf? If you can answer that in a little bit, I'll come back to that question. Herzovi Talks, Whisper Room, possibly the one thing not for sale, though. I mean, Amazon, shocking. Yeah. I don't think I'd want to buy it on Amazon. I'd go straight to Whisper Room, or better yet, find one used. Mine was delivered. It was in Chicago. I had to have it shipped. And it would have been, like I said, between $9,000 and $10,000. I paid $3,000 for it and $1,400 to have it shipped. There was a broken window and a doorknob. Replaced both of those, and it's just been a dream ever since. All right. Is Lee Everett coming back as a flashback on The Walking Dead, the game? Well, I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. You lost me. No, I'm right here. And hello. Hey, Thomas, what's going on? Lori Katz, what's happening, girl? John Malone, Mike Templeton. John Malone. Yeah. Oh, Minority Business. Okay. That's what it is. I've never thought about that either, but when I got in the business, I did not want to just be an ethnic voice. I wanted to be a voice. Does that mean I was going to turn down ethnic work? Absolutely not. But I've always felt like, anybody who is here in this country and is American, no matter what your background, you can sell products to anybody else here in America, no matter what their background. And when you go in with that, I think you show up a little differently. I've researched and saved up for a Rode NTG1 shotgun mic since there are a lot of background noise and a dog in the vicinity. For those of us in the woodlands of nowhere, where's a good place online to do submissions? And a hi, Logan. Nice dreads.
All right. Thank you.
I don't like having another dreadlock guy in here. Takes all the attention away from my dreads. Okay, back to that question. Good place to find. Well, most of the places right now, the so-called easy way is the pay-to-play sites, avoiding, of course, the devil, voices.com, because they're going to rip you off. So that would be one place, the pay-to-play sites, the Voices 1, 2, 3, and so forth. But you can find your own work. Remember a little while ago I mentioned that you can find work on Craigslist? You can do a search, spend a little time every day doing a search for voiceover, those who need voiceover, and do it as a nationwide search. There are also lots of small agents around the country outside of Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. If you're in an area, and maybe you're near Kansas City, maybe you're near, Atlanta is becoming a big market now. Maybe you're near, Dallas is becoming a big market too. But medium-sized cities need advertising too. So I would find those places and do your own research. What are the kinds of things that you want to do? I would do a search for e-learning producers. Now, this assumes that your website is ready, complete with demos for the kind of work that you're looking for. Because if it is, do your research, send your demo, and at the same time, direct them to your website, which, of course, makes it very easy for them to understand who you are and what you do and how to play your demos and get in touch with you. And if you have, when you're doing it for yourself, you are the talent, you are your agent, you are collecting. You probably want to have a fee structure. You want to let them know what you charge for various types of things. And once you get those clients, you're going to have to educate them on what they're paying and why. So there's a session fee, and how long are you going to use this? Just for 6 weeks, great. There'll be nothing further. That's just fine. But if you're going to use this for a year or two, there are usage fees. We have to be smart. And this is one of the reasons I like being in the union, because a lot of that is taken care of for me. And a lot of times, we're actors and artists. A lot of times we'll sell ourselves short. Don't sell yourself short. Okay. Oh, yeah. Talking about booth, build one. Minority business supplier. Wow. Never thought about that. Why, yes, I supply a minority voice. Okay. Let's see. Kayla. Hey, Dave, it was so wonderful chatting with you in the Sovas Expo. What's your best advice on getting out of your own mind and connecting with the character script on an emotional level? What's your process when you get sent copy of breaking that down to prepare for an audition? That's a really good question. The first thing I do is, if there is a game description, I look at that. What kind of game is this? We have as many types of games as there are movies. And you wouldn't show up for a horror movie the same way you would show up for a buddy action flick. So you want to match the energy of your performance to what that game energy is going to be. After that, I'm looking to find out as much as I can about the character. Hopefully there's a picture. Sometimes it tells you a lot. Sometimes it doesn't tell you as much as you'd like to know. And oftentimes you'll have like a page of character description and backstory. And from that, you want to begin to develop a sense of what this character thinks and feels. And then a lot of times they'll give you a voice description. His voice is tired, ragged, as if, he's been living outdoors and not talking to people or something. It could be something like that. And then what does the copy tell you? And try to create that first. One of the things I like to do and suggest, read the character description in the voice of the characters you're trying to develop it, and let that come. And once again, don't try to make the words special. Don't how you say them. Let the character just say them in the feeling that the character has. All too often, we're trying to make the words have their meaning, have their feeling, based on we're going up here and we're going down here in a way that we would never speak in real life. So beware of that. And when you find yourself doing that, you really haven't connected to the character. You're faking it. And I guarantee you the casting people out there, they understand when you're faking it. And not only for video games, for cartoons, for narration, for commercials. So don't fake it, baby. Don't fake it. All right. Sandra. There's also a certification for women, WBE. Usually companies said, okay, got it. Oh, hey, Dave, listening in the car on my way to a VIA workout. All right, John Malone. Let me tell you a little bit about John Malone. In my voiceover workout group, which we do on Tuesdays, and I don't get to go to as often as I'd like, John has been in. He's taken my voice acting for video game workshop. I know he takes other people's workshops and goes to workout groups. And John Malone works. And something I have discovered, people who take classes, who train with coaches, who take this seriously, work. They do. If you want to work, make sure you're keeping yourself fresh. Make sure you're working with coaches in areas that you're not as sharp in. Or even if you are that sharp in those areas, sometimes you need to sharpen up. A couple years ago, I took a promo workshop with Dave Walsh. I've done tons of promos over many, many years. Sometimes you just want another pair of ears and another mind to hear you and give you some thoughts about what you're doing and adjust, because society changes and what is expected changes. Never get so big in your head that you think, well, I've got this down. I don't need any training. Why, after all, I'm Dave Fennoy. You'll find yourself wondering why nobody's emailing you, texting you, calling you for work. All right. Ha ha ha. That's an answer even. Oh, thanks. Oh, big hugs from Brazil. Wow. What's your favorite place to find practice copy? Well, I don't have to find practice copy because I've got agents and clients sending it to me all the time. So it's always just coming to me. Now, if you don't, there are a number of places. I know Edge Studio has lots of copies. Some of it's kind of dated, but they're always adding to it. So you can go to Edge Studios and it's free. I would just Google copy. Now, are you talking about a particular kind of copy? Are you talking about video game copy, animation copy, narration copy? Be more specific. And speaking of being more specific, when you're doing voice work, be more specific. It's not just happy. It's what kind of happy? How happy? What are the levels of happy? Is there any not happy in there and you're happy? Is there a road of I wasn't that happy, now I'm happier, and now I'm not so happy again? Be more specific in your reads. What am I supposed to be feeling here? What do I want my listener to feel? Be more specific than, oh, yeah, this is a hard sell. Oh, yeah, this is emotional. Go deeper than that. I have what we call, or I talk to students about what I call mini emotions, mini attitudes that we go through. And if you pay attention to yourself, if you pay attention to performances in movies and on television, you will see an actor go through several lines and attitudes change, levels of energies change, all of that. That's what you want to access. Locks popping. Yeah, you got another fan there with your locks, Logan.
I hope these are females.
Yeah. Kickstarter projects are a good place to find work. Thank you. I love it when somebody there has an answer. Occasionally paying work. Thambisa says Nashville? What was that an answer to? I don't know. I have a long list of stuff that people are saying. If you're going to answer a question, please include the question so I know what the hell we're talking about. Your local radio station. Okay, your local radio station may need you for their commercials or PSAs. Generally, they don't like to pay outside people. They may. Generally, they want to use the jocks or abuse the jocks into doing all of that. Veronica Dillard, should I delete my radio commercials off my demo reel? Maybe. Are they local and retail? Maybe not. What are your reads like? On my first demo, I had a lot of local and retail spots on there that, I had to eliminate, but I didn't have to eliminate them all. Sometimes even local spots are good. What I would suggest is have somebody have a listen and make some suggestions. If you want to send it to me, I'll check it out. Franklin, it's great seeing you too, Dave. We did a good job. Oh, thank you. Galena, what's up? Checking in. Congrats on your win. Very well deserved. Oh, thank you. Oh, hey, Krista. You should. All right, nice. John Malone, preach, brother. Only because I mentioned your name. That's the only reason you said that. Can people in New York take your VO for a video gaming workshop via Live or Hangout, or do we need to fly home? I've been planning to come out to New York and do a workshop, so that's going to be happening in the new year. But if you wanted to, we'll probably be doing some online workshops. I really like working better in person with groups, but I think I'm going to be doing some more webinars. And I will be coming to New York, and I'll be letting the world know when I do. Hey, Ferris, what's up? How often should we update our voice demo reels? Well, I want you to do what I say, not what I did. I think you should do it at the very latest every 2 years. If you can do it every year, great. And updating your demo reel doesn't necessarily mean redoing a whole new demo. That first demo that you do, you created it out of thin air. It's not real. Hopefully it sounds real, so people are hiring you. But as the work comes in, now you have things that you actually did do that you can add. And if you continue to work, you can add things to that and change things around, move things around. Also, these days, the 5 and 10 second reel has become popular. And the reason being, we all have very short attention spans now, and that person looking for a voice like yours may not want to listen to your big fast read and your really slow read, and they may want to find a read about fast food, or they're looking for a read about financial products or tennis shoes or whatever. So you can break up and have a few different genres, a few different feelings, a few different categories of products that someone can go to and quickly hear what you can do with that. That has become a thing. So no longer than 2 years, and as you get new material, you can add that. Okay. Yeah. People can also transcribe spots off YouTube for copy. Absolutely. And even movie scripts. Video games are so much more like movies now than they used to be that you can find. Now, don't use the most famous speeches from movies, but there are a lot of good speeches in movies that you can use and alter to create a demo reel. I do not suggest writing your own copy. Leave that to writers. A lot of times we think, oh, well, that'd be easy to do. I'll just have to, scribble this and this. No. And every time I hear somebody that's done that, it falls short. There's a reason writers are good writers, and not all of us are. All right. Got to work on Reddit once or twice. Well, there you go. Thank you once again. Love you guys. So Reddit, just keep searching the internet. Crystal, Dave's locks are the one true locks. Let there be no other locks before Dave's.
Those are questions, not comments.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, all right. So with home studio, what are some sound absorption ideas that can be easily taken down or removed? Well, of course, everybody knows about acoustic foam. It can be fairly expensive, and it's acoustic foam. Not just any foam will do. Also, rock wool, which is what I have mostly in my studio. I like rock wool better than foam, and it tends to be cheaper. And you just cover it with, burlap or some soft cloth. But I have discovered from research that one of the very best things, perhaps the best thing for sound absorption. Oh, I forgot about curtains. Theater curtains, very good. One of the cheapest ways to go are towels. Yes, large bath towels. Find them used someplace, not wash them. And if you put 4 or 5 of them together on a screen, they absorb better than acoustic foam, better than rock wool. So towels, that's a good way to go. And you could make yourself a frame, a nice wooden frame, 2x4, and staple them together, and put them up, and away you go. Ah, the soliloquy Orlando Jones did on American Gods. Use that for a demo. Maybe. Maybe. Preach that word. Rewriting copy. Yeah. I use a combination of packing blankets. Forgot about those. Those work. And more packing blankets. My issue with packing blankets is they're not pretty. I know what we really want is to cut down on the sound bounce, but I guarantee if this is the place that you work, you want to come in and have some aesthetics that feel good. Now, my office is kind of junky. I got stuff all over it, and at my studio, it's not everything is in the perfect place. But you know what? A clean desk is the sign of a sick mind. But you do want to walk into a place where you're working every day that you feel good about. When I've been in studios that had packing blankets, it just didn't feel good to me. So that's a thought. But maybe packing blankets with some nice material hanging over them so that it does look nice. Rama Rodriguez, what's going on, man? For a few $100, one can even get PVC piping and put together a skeleton for a booth and have heavy moving mats attached by clips. That's what I did. Once again, that works. That works. I have seen that. I'm not a fan. If it does not affect your psyche, to be in that thing, I mean, because if it's PVC, you bump into it one day and it falls over. And I guarantee you have in mind at some point upgrading. So it's a solution, but you know, be careful. I suggest people get the best everything that you can afford. If you're thinking about buying that Rode mic for, $300-400, if you can just put together a little bit more money, you can get a Neumann TLM 103. If you can just find a way to save up and get that 416. And whatever you do, forget about the Yeti, forget about the Snowball. Does your fabulous hair make you a better? Yeah, actually, Wendy, yes, my hair does make me a better VO artist. I call it the Samson effect. So nobody better ever cut my hair off in my sleep. What's my favorite shotgun mic? Wendy, that would be the Sennheiser 416. It has been called the LA voiceover mic. You find them everywhere now. And the reason being, there was a guy here years ago. Oh gosh. Why is his name slipping my mind? Because I'm getting old, that's why. But he wanted to work in the studio with the same guys who were punching the buttons at ABC. And they needed a solution for a mic that would not pick up the sound outside of it. Shotgun mics are very, very, they just aim at your mouth. Whatever they're pointed at, that's what they hear. Things on the outside, not so much. And that's when they started using them for other than movies and television shows where, the boom guy, or he's on the machine with the boom, and they can be just out of sight of the camera or even further away and with enough gain pointed at the actor and pick up what they're saying very clearly. So if you're going to get a shotgun mic, I would go with the Sennheiser 416. Let's see. Chris, if clean desk is a sign of a sick mind, I must be way healthier than I thought. Yeah. That's one of my favorite quotes because it explains so much. Well, where did I miss anything? Anybody? Hey, Retina, what's going on? Let me go back to the beginning here. I'm just going to mention connection open again. I think this is going to really change a lot of the way we do things. It was designed originally for musicians to be able to play with one another from any place on the planet. And their big concern was latency, so that everybody on the one is on the one. Because typically, the further away you are, the longer it takes for sound to get to you. So if you had musicians all over the planet and one of them's counting off 1, 2, 3, 4, the person who's furthest away is hearing 4 a little later. And everybody's hearing it a little different time. Well, this was designed so everybody is at the furthest latency. So, and it's very fast. It's very, very fast. And it was designed so a number of musicians could play with one another over the internet and all be in time. Well, that works really great for us as voice actors, too. It's clean as a whistle. It's faster than your cell phone. The headroom is incredible. You can run it through your DAW, or it will just record on its own. It will give you 2 files, one just you, and 1 file with everybody else. So you could do cartoons with it. You could do video games with it, if we ever get to the point where we're doing video games with more than one actor at a time. Every now and then we do, but only every now and then. But Connection Open, you can go to connectionopen.com, sign up. It's free right now. I just want you to try it. Connectionopen.com. Let's see, which is the most requested video game session, Source Connect versus... okay, I'll get to that. ConnectionOpen.com. And once you've signed up, send an email to Randy, R-A-N-D-Y, at ConnectionOpen.com, and tell him you just signed up. And, hey, give me my free passes, man. I signed up. I want my passes. And he'll send you about 30 passes, and you can check it out. Get with a couple of friends, a couple of voiceover friends, and test it. There may be a couple little bugs here and there, but man, I've been a tester for them for a few years, and it has gotten so good, so clean. All right. Sandra Segrest, which is most requested for video game sessions, Source Connect versus ISDN for remote sessions? You know, most of the video games that I'm doing in a studio here in town. I'm driving someplace because they want to have control over what everybody sounds like. So everybody's on the same microphone. Everybody's going through the same recording system. Everybody's in the same preamp. But when I do some work, and I do some work from here, generally they want me to record on my own and direct via phone patch. So generally I'm not using either Source Connect or ISDN for the video game sessions that I do. That comes up more often with TV promos, some narration, and commercials. All right. Well, you know what? It's just about time. If nobody else has any questions, thank you guys for joining me every week. Hey, Bruce Falconer. Now, when I'm in Dallas, I go to Cake Mix Recording Studio. That's Bruce Falconer there, and do my workshops. I'm usually down there in June. I'm going to be teaching in Bogota, Colombia in June, but that doesn't mean I won't get to Dallas in June as well. So just wanted to say, hey, Bruce. So, couple things. If you want to do private sessions with me, visit my website, davefennoy.com. You can click on the Study VO tab and sign yourself up. Don't be surprised if sometimes I have to get in touch with you and say, oh, we need to move that to this day or that date, because I am a working voice actor. And we'll be providing information for where I'll be teaching. I know in January I'll be in London, and we'll be going on from there. So all the best to everybody. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And I will see you next Wednesday right here when it's Ask Dave Fennoy Anything. See ya.